Four-time Sprint Cup champion. Driving number 24, drive-in Hunger Chevrolet Impala of Hendrick Motorsports, Mr. Jeff Gordon.
Well, this is a treat. Not too often we get a break in the action in between practice and get a chance to come out and see the fans and talk a little racing. So I'm excited to be here.
You're a three-time winner here at the track, and you've what, 10 top 5s, 11 top 10s, 2 poles. You're starting 22nd tomorrow. When you practice, like the first practice today, I think you were 17th quick. You're trying out all kinds of different things, aren't you?
Yeah, you know, if you get a lot of people commenting about lap times and things. Qualifying, yes, that was important. You know, the car was better than I was yesterday. You know, a lot of guys ran this third lane through 1 and 2, and I really thought qualifying we'd be moving back down. We didn't have a great practice yesterday for the qualifying runs. I thought our race runs were pretty good, and so, you know, we missed it just a little bit as far as me getting to run that third lane, and so I made a mistake by not going up there. Our 3 and 4, we have a program. All the teams, most of the teams have this now. It's called Dartfish, where we can lay an image. It's like a ghost car. We can put the two together and show exactly on the track where the other competitors are faster or slower. Our 3 and 4 is as good as anybody, but because I ran that bottom in 1 and 2, it really cost us a lot of time. So I told the guys yesterday, you know, that was driver error, and I owe one for that. But in race practice like today, our car is really fast, but we were behind somebody. We were behind somebody else at the start of practice that didn't take off very good, and it kept us from getting that one really fast lap because the tires are at their best the first 1 or 2 laps. And so we got clear of them on lap 3, and then if you look at our average, we're actually really strong. So I'm pretty happy with the car in race trim.
The advantage of a 400-mile race at this track, which is so big, it doesn't really matter where you start as long as you get through.
Well, yeah, we've seen guys start all over. Even myself, the races that we've won, we've started, you know, mid-pack, if not further back before. This is definitely a track you can pass on. It's very wide. What you have to be a little careful of here is because it's so wide, it can get spread out, and you got to have a good car, but you got to be able to have just enough cautions as well to close that field back up. You're not going to make up all that time under green flag because there's too many good cars towards the front. But there's no doubt we've got a car that can go to the front, and then a few breaks go our way, and we can win this race.
Yeah. A number of people have asked me here to pass this along to you about the fuel injection, but really the biggest difference in the car this year isn't really the fuel injection, it's the fact you're driving a car 2 years in a row that really hasn't changed much as far as the way it handles.
Yeah, you know, we need to clear, if anybody has any questions about EFI affecting performance or what's happening out the racetrack, you can squash that right now. It has zero to do with the cars, the power, everything is almost identical. Every once in a while we have a little bit of a surge going down pit road if we're in a certain RPM range because of the electronics trying to adjust the air-fuel mixture at certain RPMs. The only thing that it's improving right now is fuel economy, which is what it's really all about. We didn't want it to change the performance, and it hasn't. In some ways, we actually gained some top-end performance because we're able to tune that timing a little bit, you know, throughout the different ranges of RPM. So it's been a plus. The cars drive great. It has nothing to do with what's happening out there, you know, as far as our performance or anybody else's. Obviously, there's a few glitches in the system because there are more electronics that can bite you, like what happened with Tony. And we're working through making sure some of those things don't happen. But other than that, EFI is great. the cars just continue to evolve because the teams use the engineering and technology at our disposal to make things better. That's what we're out there to do. It's what our sponsors pay for as well. It's what the fans want, and it's what we want. So, we're constantly working on that. Goodyear is always also doing that with their tires. So we have a little bit different tire out here this time. I really like the tire. It's got good grip. It also has some good fall off. I think all that makes for a great race on Sunday. Well, hopefully Sunday. I'm as optimistic as it comes when it comes to weather. But we've also got some technology there that is making me cringe right now. So we're going to be keeping our fingers crossed tomorrow.
Just remember, I was talking with Darrell Waltrip about this. Taco Tuesday is always good out here on the inside.
Listen, if we're here on Tuesday, I'll be there.
Crew chief is so important to everybody, especially with you. You've worked with some of the best. Alan Gustafson with you now. Has he got like a mind meld going with you? Does he know what you're thinking? Do you know what he's thinking?
And I'll tell you this, I think he is definitely one of the best in the garage. He's certainly one of the best I've ever worked with, and it really disappoints me when we don't perform the way I know that we're capable of, because when you look at his guidance, his expertise, and the team of engineers underneath him, there's no reason why we shouldn't be competing for wins. We're off to a slow start this year. We know that, as much as our fans know that, and we're just as disappointed with it. The two races that I feel like we actually ran good, Daytona and last week at Bristol, we had strange situations that took us out of it. The other two, we need to step the performance up, and that's those are the only that's all we can focus on right now. But we got a lot of racing left to go, and this weekend I think is a great opportunity for us to get a bunch of points back that we've lost.
Good track for it. A number of people were wondering if having children now has affected the way you drive or the way you approach the track. And I'm asking you, is that all the more reason to come to the track?
Well, it definitely is. Yeah. To get sleep, yes. I used to not sleep at the racetrack thinking about competition and everything. Now I get to the racetrack and it's like, I'm out. I think I get this a lot on Twitter, and fans, everywhere I go ask this same thing, because those parents that are out there know how much having children, changes you and changes the way you look at the world, and your priorities in life. But one thing I can say about being a race car driver is when you're driving an 850 horsepower car and you flip that switch on and you're doing 200 miles per hour, there's nothing that comes into your mind other than driving that race car the best of your ability. And so where it has really affected me is that whether I've had a good day or a bad day, when I go home, they don't care, right? It means nothing to them. It's all about them. And I love that. The other part that has maybe affected, performance at times is, having two and the sleep, not always being as consistent. So that's what I work on the most, is just catching up with my rest and my sleep, as often as I can. My wife is great, because, she knows that that's an important, part of my job. So she works with me, and we make it work really well together as a team, and we love being parents. And so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, most of Thursday, in between the other obligations, I am doing everything I can to be the best dad that I can, and I love it. And it is. Thank you. And being a parent, to me, when you go to work, makes it all that much more meaningful and important, and especially in a highly competitive environment, to go out there and do it, not just for you, but for them. And so I think they've inspired me to be better, instead of me wanting to step away and not be as aggressive and all those things. That part, I don't know any different there.
Young Justin down here was wondering how to get started in racing, and since Leo is going to be in a car any day now, you suggest still go-karts are the way to go?
Well, I like all kinds of different cars. I think what you have to do is look in the area that you live, see what's, within a certain reasonable distance, what's popular. I think it's all about finding something that is organized. You want to have a sanctioned, organized group that is keeping the playing field level as it can be, to give you the best opportunity to go out there and work on driving and not worry about other things. And then, whatever you feel is safe, as well as what's going to get you good experience. First, you have to recognize the passion, the excitement level that there is within yourself, within your kids. Because if they're not excited about getting out there and doing it, and you don't see them progressing, then racing might not be the right thing, because it's expensive, it's not cheap for anybody, and you don't get sponsors until you get a little older. So that's the toughest part about finding talent in our sport today, is that it's not like football and baseball and basketball, where anyone can pick up that and go play it in school or in the playground. It's you got to go find a racetrack, and you got to pay the bills. But I've always said, find something safe, competitive, and that's fun for the whole family. If it goes anywhere from there, then you start looking at spreading out to other types of cars and series and competition.
You have to get going, but I have to ask you, and everybody here knows there's more to being a champion than how many races you've won or how much money or how many championships. That stuff doesn't hurt, but there's more to being a champion, and the things you do in your spare time, both with your foundation and with the Drive to End Hunger involved like that. You've got a lot of personal involvement in that.
I think all of us, as we go through life's experiences, you start to realize more what's important, and to me, family is extremely important. Being happy and healthy, being able to give back to others, and being able to go out there and do something that I love to do, which is race and win races. Those things are what make me happy. So I'm very fortunate, and I want to do more, of all those things. And I can't do without you guys. So thank you guys for all the support. We love you. We're going to get it done tomorrow. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Gordon.